Hey, what's up, guys? Eyes Open in California here. So today is Saturday, August 5th, 2023. And this video is going to be long. So I have a lot of material to cover. So we'll just jump right into this. Back in June, I had a few dreams. And in these dreams, I was told that the world was getting ready to make an important decision regarding marijuana. I don't watch the news or follow politics in any way, shape, or form. I could care less. It's all nonsense anyways. But so I had no idea what this new law was going to be. I presumed that this law was going to be pertaining to the legalization of marijuana. But as I found out this week, there's a new law that California had passed that's going to go into effect on January 1st, 2024. So this is already here. So I want to specify, in my dream, I said this: the world is getting ready to make an important decision regarding marijuana. Now, I'm about to go into what California is getting ready to do regarding marijuana. But I can tell you, California is just the forerunner on this. California is the tip of the spear. Once the other states see the amount of revenue that this new legislation is going to create, as far as like the state being able to tax, I'll get more into this. It'll make more sense in a little bit. But all the other states are going to see what California is doing, and they're going to want to do the same thing. And then when other countries see what America's doing, they're going to want to do the same thing too. The whole world is going to get on board with this. It's going to take off like wildfire. So anyways, let me share my screen. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. So in my previous video, I said the world was getting ready to make an important decision regarding marijuana. So here's what California is doing. California protects employees who use recreational cannabis and limits drug tests. Effective January 1st, 2024, California law will restrict employers from using traditional tests to test for cannabis use. Traditional tests, of course, being urinalysis testing your urine. Do not want. Get off my screen. I got a thing right in the middle of my screen. Okay. Effective January 1st, 2024, California will restrict employers from using traditional drug tests to test for cannabis use. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed the law on September 18th, 2022, prohibiting employers from discriminating against an employee based on off-site cannabis use or detection of non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites. All right, so I'm going to read this just to give you some background. Traditional drug tests, non-psychoactive metabolites, and impairment. Delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, is a primary chemical compound in cannabis that causes impairment and psychoactive effects. When cannabis is consumed, the human body metabolizes the THC compound and breaks it down into non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites. These metabolites are then stored in the body for extended periods of time. Traditional drug tests screen for non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites in hair and in bodily fluids such as blood or urine. Because these metabolites can be stored in the body for weeks or months after cannabis use, a positive test does not indicate that an employee was impaired at the time of testing. Instead, the test indicates only that the individual consumed cannabis at some unspecified point in the past. According to the new law, the intent of drug tests is to identify impairment at work. But by testing for non-psychoactive metabolites, such tests do not fulfill that purpose. So here's the new law. California Government Code 12954 prohibits employers from discriminating against applicants and employees based on 1, the person's use of cannabis off-duty and off-site, or an employer-required drug test that reveals non-psychoactive cannabis metabolites. Employers can, however, penalize applicants and employees based on drug screenings that test for THC. This is a change to existing law because in 2017, when voters approved the legalization of recreational marijuana, the law did not restrict employers' ability to have policies prohibiting the use of cannabis by employees and prospective employees. The 2017 law was consistent with the California Supreme Court's 2008 decision holding that employers were not required to accommodate employees' use of medicinal marijuana. So what tests are permissible? Okay, the first type of test, I'm going to skip down to right here. The first type of test is what the law calls an impairment test, which measures an individual employee against their own baseline performance. These tests are administered through a phone or tablet application that measures cognitive and psychomotor capabilities against a rolling baseline score specific to that individual's cognitive function. Basically, you're going to be taking a psychological exam, and they're going to test you sober. I guess every employer is going to have your psychological evaluation on record, and whenever they think you're high, they're going to make you take that same test and measure your results against your last results, which seems kind of crazy. So let's just jump down to this. While these tests might satisfy the new California law, they can present other legal risks. Several such tests are available on the market, and McGuire Woods can help evaluate whether they are right for an individual business. So McGuire Woods is the company that wrote this article. So basically a psych test. They're going to compare you to you, because impaired you is different than sober you. But that's kind of crazy. The second type of test is a THC test, because the new law allows tests that screen for psychoactive THC instead of non-psychoactive metabolites. For example, several companies advertise a breathalyzer that screens for THC, but not psychoactive metabolites. These companies advertise they can detect THC within a few hours after an individual uses cannabis, thus allowing employers to isolate cannabis use during or immediately preceding the workday. These breathalyzer tests are primarily in research and development, although the technology likely will be more widely available in the near future. Well, you know what? I got news for you. The technology is already here. It's not in the testing. It's not in the research and development field anymore. It's now in the production field. Cannabix Technologies has already done this. They've already created the portable breathalyzer, and it's pretty small. It's comparable to the size of an alcohol breathalyzer. In fact, they recruited the same scientist that invented the alcohol breathalyzer. He now has invented the marijuana breathalyzer. Not only does it test for THC in people who just smoked some weed, but it also tests for THC for people who have eaten edibles. There's no way around this. They're gonna track you down. If you smoke hooch or consume any kind of marijuana product before you come to work, this technology is gonna find you. You're gonna lose your job. So this video is not really to warn the potheads out there, because I mean, I live in California. I'm homegrown in California. It is what it is. You can't walk outside without smelling weed. It's California. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to tell you that this new law that goes into effect on January 1st, 2024 in California, this new law is going to become a cash cow. These politicians have not passed these laws because they particularly care what drug people do recreationally. It has nothing to do with that. And I can attribute this next bit of information to my boss, Gabe. Gabe actually told me about this because I just found out about this week. And he brought this to my attention, that these politicians, they're driven by money. So somehow, some way, some lobbyists have lobbied for this. And this is the reason why these laws are passing, is because they see the financial potential, the potential for financial gain here. There's a whole market of people that are not partaking in the marijuana industry. I'll give you an example. I drive a truck. Sometimes it's a big rig, sometimes it's a box truck, sometimes I'm at the warehouse just unloading freight and loading it up on other trucks. But in my field, people can have nothing to do with marijuana because you're subject to urinalysis testing. And if somebody smoked hooch a month ago, it doesn't mean they're high right now, but they are going to fail a urinalysis test right now. So this new California law is protecting people who do things like drive or whatever. That might fall under some federal stuff, but at some point in time, this is going to take off, right? So California realizes that there is a whole bunch of people out there that are subject to urinalysis testing that shouldn't be. And California feels like they should be able to smoke hooch when they go home and then go to sleep and then come to work the next day and free from impairment, and everything should be fine. They're basically making marijuana and alcohol equals. You can go home and drink alcohol. If you get some sleep, you come to work, you have no alcohol in your system, then you're cleared to work. They're trying to make it marijuana and alcohol equal. And I'm not here to talk about the politics behind how I feel about it. But I assure you, and my boss was right, this is driven by money. There's only one thing that drives politicians, and it's money. This is the reason why you get some politicians whose salary is $100,000 a year, and somehow after they've served a couple of years in office, they're worth $500 million because the lobbyists have gotten to them and they passed legislation that appeased or made the lobbyists happy and the companies they represent, and the politicians are getting kickbacks from some of these laws or from all of the laws basically that they pass. And this is the way it works. Unfortunately, money makes the world go around, but the Lord said you can't worship God and money. These people have made money their God. That's the reason why it says on the dollar, "In God we trust." Yeah, it's a different God. The God of this world that you trust, not the Most High. But put your trust in the Most High. But anyways, this is going to take off. When this new law comes into effect on January 1st, 2024, all the other states are going to be looking at California like, hey, California did it. Look at how much money they're making. This is a cash cow. And the other states are going to want to get in on this because there's a whole professional field of people who are not legally allowed to smoke marijuana who would absolutely choose to smoke marijuana over drinking. And they would probably choose marijuana over tweaking, I would hope, because in the trucking industry, it almost promotes tweakers. I mean, I'm not at my company is a good company. There's none of that going on. But I'm saying you'll speak to some people in truck stops and I tell you what. But anyways, I'm not trying to pass judgment on nobody. I'm just saying, due to the laws of the lands, people have chosen a different recreational drug. Now, I don't condone the use of anything, not even drinking, because the Lord turned water into wine at a wedding. He didn't turn water into wine on a Friday night or on a Saturday night. It was at a wedding that he did this. That was his first miracle, right? In Cana. So, anyways, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. But this is a business opportunity, financial opportunity video. This is the new law. Cannabix Technologies has created this technology already. They already have it in place. It's currently trading at 20 cents a share. I am selling at $600 a share. That's what I am doing. You can do whatever you want. I'm telling you what Richard is doing. Richard is going to sell at $600 a share. So it's no longer in the research and development phase. All these companies are going to have all of their eggs in a basket, all their ducks in a row. They're going to have everything ready to go by January 1st, 2024 in California, which means they're going to have to start buying these things now because these things are going to have to be made. So what I'm saying is the clock is ticking. I would advise you to jump on this ASAP, right? So I'm going to link a video to the description box, which is the video that I made a few weeks ago regarding this subject. It'll give you more information about how to go about investing with this company that I'm invested with. I want to tell you this, though. God has shown me this in detail. I still know things I still know some things, but that I won't pass along. But I can tell you this. Because this information is good information, you need to ask God, what is your limit? You can't worship God in money. So don't go getting greedy. Ask God, what is the limit of stocks that you are allowed to buy? And God will actually tell you the amount. God told me the amount, and that's the amount that I bought. I didn't buy not a single stock more than what God showed me in my dream. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to be baptized properly. You're going to have to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. You're going to have to be baptized in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in water. You have to be baptized in water. You have to be baptized properly. Anybody who's going to throw shade my direction about being baptized by the Spirit, by the fire, now get out of here with that. The Lord was baptized in water. You got to be baptized in water. End of story. Now, you can choose to be wrong if you want to, but on Judgment Day, you're going to wish you would have listened to me. Make sure you're baptized properly. I have a video on how to baptize yourself. You can do it yourself. The video is 4 minutes long. It takes like 10 seconds in the shower at most. And it's a done deal. Get it done. Then ask God how many stocks God will allow you to purchase, and stick to that. Do not get greedy, because there is a time coming when this economy is going to collapse. By the time it collapses, you will have needed to have set yourself up in a better place than you are right now. Because I don't know about you, but if I lost my job today, I would be homeless next week. I live hand to mouth. And I'm sure you can agree that that's the way it is. Nobody can afford to lose their job. But this is an opportunity for God's people to get themselves set up a little bit better. So that way, when the next pandemic hits, they quarantine us or whatever it is they're going to do on this next round, because there is going to be a next round. Whatever they do, you'll have the financial stability to get through it, because so many people lost their homes during the last pandemic. People lost their jobs, lost their cars, lost their families. People lost everything. People lost their lives. Don't be one. When that next thing comes, you're going to say, I wish God would have sent me a messenger to show me how to better prepare for this. Well, guess what? You're looking at it. I'm telling you, buy this stock ASAP. Don't waste a minute. Don't do this Thursday or Friday. Today is Saturday, of course. Do this right now. Get off of this and do this right now. You're going to wish you did. These laws are already passing. There's already a need for this technology, and they have a legal requirement. They have a deadline. They have to have these things in place by January 1st, 2024 in California. I don't know what they're doing in the rest of the country. I just barely found this out this week. But I assure you, California won't be the last that's going to do this. And once the other states see the amount of money it's going to generate, when all the truck drivers say, hey, finally, we can go home and smoke some hooch. When they finally are legally allowed to do that, you watch how much money is going to be generated. The other states are going to jump on this. There's going to be this technology is going to be in high demand. Get your stocks in this company while you can. As with anything, you pay your money, you take your chances. But I'm telling you, all things considered, at 20 cents a share, it's a very low risk, and it's a very high reward. The risk versus reward is definitely there. When I sell, I'm anticipating selling at $600 per share. That's basically a 3,000% profit, 3,000% increase, basically 3,000%. It's not going to happen again. I don't work for these companies. I don't represent these companies. I'm telling you, as your brother in Christ, set yourself up in a better financial situation than you are right now. When the next pandemic hits, it's going to be awful. The next virus is going to be way worse than the one that just passed. Way worse. I've already been shown this in many dreams. You're going to want nothing to do with it. You're going to run from anybody who sneezes. You're going to run from them. That's how bad this next one's going to be. I'm going to run from them. When you barricade yourself in your house, you're going to need to have some money to order some food. You're going to need to order supplies or things or whatever. set yourself up in a better financial situation. Don't say God didn't send you a messenger. You're looking at my ugly mug right now. So anyways, this is Eyes Open in California. Thank you. God bless you. And get it done. There's no time to waste. Like, get this done ASAP. All right. So thank you. God bless you. And I'm going to put the link to that first video where I had spoken about this. I'm going to put that link in the description box. The one thing you're going to notice is that I had no idea about this law. In that first video, I said the world is gonna legalize marijuana or decriminalize it. I had no idea it was going this way. This is how little I knew about the subject. I didn't know anything. God just told me the world is going to make a decision regarding marijuana, a big decision regarding marijuana. That's all I knew. I had no idea it had anything to do with the drug testing aspect of it. But this is what it turned out to be. And I just barely learned this new information this week. So do with this information what you must. I hope you get in before this thing takes off. And I really hope that you get yourself set up better so you can survive the next pandemic. Because it's coming. You know it is. So anyways, his Eyes Open in California. Thank you. God bless you.